Welcome to the Space Foundation Discovery Center's Artifact Lesson Series.
Hello everybody, my name is Aimee from the Space Foundation Discovery Center, and today I want to tell you all about my favorite artifact, the Saturn V. This vehicle here will be 363 feet tall and weighs 6.5 million pounds fully fueled. One of the parts of the space program that really drew me in was the Apollo program, and of course the Saturn V rocket. Now, it still amazes me that we're able to go from the Wright brothers' first flight in 1903 to landing men on the moon in 1969. That's just 66 short years. This is my model of the Saturn V. We're going to talk about each of the parts of the rocket stage by stage. The first stage has 5 F1 engines on the bottom. Now these engines are extremely powerful. They produce 7.5 million pounds of thrust total, so about 1.5 each engine. Now this entire first stage is fuel, has 2 fuel tanks that power these very powerful engines. Now these engines burned for about 2.5 minutes until the entire first stage separated. This is the second stage of our rocket. Now, between the first and the second stage, this coupler ring will separate. And then we'll see these 5 J2 engines. Now, these 5 engines take our rocket for the next 6 minutes up to an altitude of 115 miles before they run out of fuel and the stage separates. The third stage here had 1 J2 engine, which took them to orbit at 17,500 miles per hour. Once in orbit, they actually shut down the engine to orbit the Earth, check their systems. Then, once they were ready, they would reignite that third stage engine and send them on their way to the moon in what was called the translunar injection. So this is the command module. Now the command module served as the living quarters for the crew. During Apollo, we had 3 crew members in the command module. This is the only part of the entire rocket that returns to Earth, splashes down in the ocean, and then is recovered. The command service module stayed in orbit around the moon while the lunar excursion module separated and landed on the surface of the moon, with 2 men that would get out and walk on the surface. Now, when they were ready to go home, this bottom part would actually remain on the surface of the moon, while this top part would take off and dock again with the command service module, allowing the crew to get back into the capsule and go home. This is the launch escape tower. Now the launch escape tower was used to launch the capsule away from the rocket in case of an emergency in the beginning of the flight. Now we did never have to use the launch escape tower, but we came very close during Apollo 12 when the Saturn was struck by lightning twice.
The Saturn V is still the largest, most powerful rocket ever successfully launched. Pushed us further than we've ever gone before, landing 12 men on the surface of the moon and winning the space race for us in 1969. Well, thank you everybody for letting me share with you about one of my favorite artifacts, the Saturn V.
We hope you've enjoyed this Discovery Center artifact lesson, and we invite you to continue learning through the virtual Discovery Center at discoverspace.org. If you'd like to further your exploration, join us by becoming a Discovery Center Passport member.
Bye.